Look at this weather. The hot sun has finally arrived in Stockholm, and it's been a bit shaky the past couple of days. Rain some days, sun the next days, but today is perfect. Just the right amount of heat. A little bit of a breeze from the water in front of us, and if only there was a word to describe just how right this weather is today. Well, you're in luck. Swedish has got you covered. There's a Swedish word that's now getting more and more famous around the world, and that is the word lagom. Now, mastering lagom is on my Becoming Swedish bucket list. I think I understand what it means. I'm starting to feel how it plays out in society, but to really master it, I need to take it to the next stage. I need some expert help. So I'm here amongst the tourists on Stockholm's Gamla stan, the old town, to meet Lola Akinmade Åkerström, who has not only figured out what lagom means, but she's written a book on it. So I'm hoping to pick up some tips from her today on how I can master lagom in my quest to become Swedish. Right, let's find her.
My name is Lola Akinmade Åkerström. I'm an author and photographer based here in Stockholm. So travel media, visual storytelling, that sort of thing. Yeah.
So what's your interest in lagom?
So lagom is it's a word that I met, many years ago before I kind of moved to Sweden, and I was like, this word shows up a lot. What does it mean? And when I started digging in, people say, oh, lagom means not too little, not too much, just right.
Yeah.
But then I realized I think it's a lot more nuanced than that.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are like ambivalent about the word. So if it's just an ordinary word, then why does it create so many emotions?
Yeah.
And so I started digging deeper and realized that lagom is kind of the fundamental Swedish mindset.
Like, do you think it's difficult for people that have just arrived in Sweden to tap into this mindset?
Yes. So if you think of it as a scale, right? So it's a scale that always needs to be balanced. Not too little, not too much stresses the scale on either side. So it's a mindset that removes sources of stress within its control to balance that scale. And so once you start realizing this is a stress management mindset, then you begin to fully understand how lagom works in different settings. Well, people always say, oh, think of Goldilocks, right? She picked the porridge or the chair or the bed that was just right. Well, nobody thinks about Mama or Papa Bear, that their own porridge was just right for them, right? And just right for Papa, his bed was right. So my lagom is not your lagom.
Yeah.
It tries to find the perfect balance in each of our own lives where we can operate seamlessly. But when we move that into a group setting, that's where the conflict comes in, because I see your own lagom is better than mine. Maybe you are living at just this effortless state that makes me feel less than.
Yeah.
And that's when I try to say, well, you're stressing me. Try and damp it down. It's an ethos that works best on an individual level.
Yeah.
So if you think of what can I do, what habits can I do every day to sustain that scale, make it balanced. If I can go to the gym 3 hours a day, but I can take my bike to work, that's more sustainable.
Yeah.
So that's why you see a lot of kind of exercise built into every day. That's more sustainable than going to the gym. And so that's why I wrote the book, is because on an individual level, it's a great ethos. In a group setting, not so much. If this word denotes mediocre or average, then Sweden wouldn't be where it is on the world stage in terms of, one of the quote-unquote happiest countries, innovation. So I don't think that word means what it means.
Yeah.
And so once I started digging deeper, I realized it actually means kind of the best solution, not the perfect, but the best solution in whatever context.
Almost like the optimal
The
solution.
optimal solution in whatever context to keep that scale balanced. So that's what Lagom, as its core, tries to do.
It's blowing my mind because every Swede that has explained Lagom to me as just right, and optimal is something very different to just right.
Exactly. But it has to keep the scale. Just because think of it, when you're balancing a scale, it's like it has to be just right to keep that scale balanced.
In summary, like if you had some kind of top tips as somebody just arrived in the country.
Correct. One of the things I always tell people is you have to understand it doesn't mean you have to accept all the things or all the ways it manifests itself. So for example, I say, it's a great mindset because it fosters mindfulness. I'm mindful of my neighbor. I don't want to stress them. But at the same time, it can breed lack of acknowledgement because then you're not really engaging as much. So trying to understand kind of the weaknesses and the strengths of the lifestyle, but then understanding it tries to remove stress within your control. So you want to look into your own life. What are sources of stress within your control and how can you reduce them? Because that's what the mindset tries to do. Well, when we think of the stresses we have in life, they're usually physiological. Do I have enough to eat? Do I have enough time with my family, healthcare? And a society that operates on the mindset, those are they already know those are stress factors, and it tries to, take care of those stress factors so you can live your optimal life.
Yeah.
So it's a lot nuanced. It goes through everything, and in the book, I really try to break it down so people understand. Okay, so this is why it does this, or this is how it reacts this mindset reacts in a situation. And but definitely don't believe anybody that says it's just a word. Like, it's just a word. But no. So, what do you think about Lagom?
Well, all my perceptions of Lagom have changed in the last, 10 minutes since we met. We talked today about mastering Lagom, and I feel like I've met the guru. My perception before was that anything that was just right. And I hadn't really reflected before that my just right is somebody else's just right. But it's this concept of stress removal and then how that interacts with other people's Lagom.
Exactly. And I think it gives me a unique vantage point because I wasn't born in Sweden, but I consider myself an Afro-Swede. I've lived there for a while. I speak Swedish. I'm married to a Swede. So it gives me, and I've lived in different cultures that are very strong. I'm Nigerian, and then I've lived in the US for almost 20 years. And so being able to kind of see how different cultures handle stress is the quickest way you can get beneath it and master their mentality.